Lately, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the cozy game genre, what it really means, and why it even exists in the first place. The word cozy feels so subjective, doesn't it? It's a feeling that's hard to pin down, and it seems like everyone has their own take on it. So what exactly makes a game cozy? Is it something like this? Or maybe it's this. Or perhaps it's this game. The perceived cozy game genre is frequently characterized by its emphasis on non-violent, stress-free gameplay that prioritizes relaxation and a sense of comfort. Common gameplay elements include fishing, farming, crafting, decorating, and gathering resources, all which offer players opportunities to engage in slow-paced, methodical gameplay. These mechanics are designed to create a rhythm that soothes rather than challenges, offering a meditative escape from the demands of more action-driven or competitive gameplay. Cozy games also often feature interactions with friendly NPCs such as villagers or animals, fostering a sense of community and connection. The focus on nurturing relationships, whether through gift-giving, completing quests, or simply chatting with characters, is central to creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. The visual style and audio design also play critical roles in cultivating the cozy ambiance. Pixel or anime-style graphics, pastel colors, gentle animations, and soothing music all contribute to a sense of peace and relaxation, allowing players to lose themselves in the game's world without the pressure of combat, high-stakes objectives, or time constraints. In essence, cozy games offer a change of pace from the fast-paced nature of many mainstream titles, inviting players to unwind, create, and connect at their own pace. But what if I told you that all of that was bullshit? In 2024, the cozy game genre has evolved into what often feels like a copy and paste race to replicate the success of games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. Many developers that are in pursuit of capturing the same magic are producing games that heavily mimic the same formula, complete with familiar mechanics like farming, fishing, bug catching, and resource gathering. While Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing undoubtedly both set a high standard for the perceived genre, their influence has resulted in a wave of games that lack originality, adhering to worn-out mechanics without introducing fresh ideas or innovations. The genre's explosion in popularity has led to an oversaturation of titles that feel almost indistinguishable from one another, with many developers relying on the same templates of rural life simulation, friendly villagers, and low-stress environments. The repetition of these mechanics across numerous games can make the genre feel stagnant, with fewer games daring to push boundaries or explore new ways to evoke comfort. In the race to capture the next big hit, some games miss the deeper emotional connection and authenticity that made Stardew Valley and other beloved games feel so special. As a result, the genre has become formulaic, with innovation and creativity often taking a backseat to familiar safe choices. The cozy game concept isn't a new one, and in reality, it has been around for decades. And I think it's worth taking a step back to explore the origins of the genre. How did we get here? What were the first games that gave us that warm, fuzzy feeling? And how has the idea of cozy and gaming evolved over time? Let's start back at the beginning, 1985 to be exact. This is when we saw the earliest remnants of what we now recognize as cozy games, with a little title called Little Computer People. Little Computer People was released by Activision for the Commodore 64 and other platforms. This game was a digital experiment, a digital babysitter of sorts similar to modern franchises like The Sims. You watch these little pixelated people live their lives on your screen, interacting with their environment in ways that were simple, but oddly captivating. There wasn't much to do, but that was kind of the point. Little Computer People was all about the slow, everyday moments, the kind that make you feel connected without the stress of objectives or missions. But the real cozy vibes didn't catch on until the 1990s, when a key player entered the scene, Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon, which we now know as Story of Seasons in the West, released in 1996 for the SNES. This game took cozy to the next level by giving players the chance to escape to the countryside, grow crops, raise animals, and befriend the villagers. It was more than just a game. It was an escape from the mundanity of everyday life, a chance to live out the idyllic farm life most of us only dream about. Fast forward to the year 2000, when a massive new IP hit the PC world, The Sims. Now I know the Sims franchise has had its ups and downs, and its current state is a topic for another day. But the original Sims game played a vital role in shaping what we now consider the cozy genre. It allowed players to create their own digital lives, build houses, craft unique characters, better known as Sims, and essentially, play God. While The Sims might not perfectly fit the modern cozy game mold, it was groundbreaking in how it let players engage in simple, everyday activities in a digital world. It was about life at its most basic, and for many, that was cozy in its own right. Then, in 2001, we saw the release of another cozy game juggernaut, Animal Crossing. If you've somehow missed out on Animal Crossing all these years, you might have been living under a rock. The original game brought the genre to the GameCube console, offering a peaceful village life where you could fish, catch bugs, and chat with your animal neighbors. But it wasn't until 2020, with the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons, that the series became a cultural phenomenon. Animal Crossing New Horizons landed at a time when the world needed it most. In the chaos of 2020, it provided a much-needed escape, a way to connect with others in a world where social distancing was the norm. You could design your island, make friends with your adorable animal neighbors, and just relax. It's no wonder this game took the world by storm. But we can't talk about cozy games without mentioning Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley released in 2016. This game didn't just join the cozy game genre, it defined it for the modern era. Stardew Valley took everything Harvest Moon did and elevated it, offering players a rich, immersive farming experience, the heartwarming story, and endless ways to play. The success of Stardew Valley has effectively sprouted the cozy game craze we're seeing almost a decade later. And yes, it's hard to believe, but Stardew Valley is creeping up on its 10-year anniversary in the next 2 years. This game showed the world that cozy games could be deep, engaging, and incredibly popular, as well as be created by small development teams like Concerned Ape. So here we are in the second half of 2024, and the cozy game genre has evolved into something even more expansive. These days, cozy encompasses life sims, farming games, and yes, even those little organization puzzle games that have been taking over our PCs and consoles. But it begs the question, where does it end? Don't get me wrong, I don't hate or even dislike most cozy games. In fact, I think it's fantastic that it's become such a beloved part of the gaming world. But for me, cozy shouldn't be confined to life sims, farming games, and these simple little puzzles. Cozy is a feeling, an experience. It can be found in many different kinds of games, whether that's a slow-paced exploration game, a narrative-driven adventure, a turn-based RPG, hopping into an MMO with your friends, or even something entirely unexpected like a first-person shooter. So that brings me back to what I said at the beginning of the video. Cozy is subjective. What I find enjoyable and comforting about a game might be completely different from what my brother, my wife, or even you finds cozy. This is where the whole concept of the cozy game genre kind of falls apart for me and gets a little bit complicated. And honestly, what some may describe as bloated. Let's be real. What someone finds cozy or comforting varies widely from person to person. For me, it might be the simple joy of farming in Stardew Valley, building beautiful cities and city skylines, or even the precise card play of roguelike deck builders like Slay the Spire. My brother, on the other hand, might find his comfort in realistic simulations of DCS World or a medieval city builder game like Farthest Frontier. And my wife? She might unwind with a couch co-op game like Overcooked or Mario Party, racing in Mario Kart, or searching for the 880 unique moons in Super Mario Odyssey. The point is, cozy is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It's deeply personal. It's about finding that sweet spot where a game's mechanics, visuals, and even its pacing align perfectly with what you need in that moment. And because of this, I find it hard to define cozy games as one specific genre. The type of game I need in one moment might vastly change in the next, and having variety is great. I enjoy games of many different genres such as JRPGs, deck builders, platformers, city builders, and even farm sims. But the problem is that what we're seeing now is a cozy game genre that's stuffed with mechanics that can often feel repetitive or, dare I say, boring. Fishing minigames, crop management, daily routines. These are all staples of cozy games. When every new title seems to lean on the same set of activities, it starts to feel like we're just playing different versions of the same game with different graphics and slightly altered worlds. The saturation of similar mechanics might be comforting to some, but to others, it can feel like the gaming landscape is stuck in a loop. And that's where the subjectivity of cozy games comes into play. What's relaxing and enjoyable for one person might be tedious and uninspired for another. As video game genres continue to expand, it's important to remember that what makes a game cozy and comforting isn't just about the mechanics, it's about the experience. Cozy shouldn't be defined solely by a checklist of activities like fishing, farming, or decorating. And I know I might sound like a broken record at this point, but it should be about how a game makes you feel, whether that's through its story, its atmosphere, or even just the way it lets you escape from the pressures of the real world. Because after all, that's what playing video games is all about. Here's what we need to ask ourselves. Are these games truly cozy, or are they just following a formula that's been labeled as such? Are we playing these games because they genuinely make us feel good, or because they fit into a prepackaged idea of what cozy is supposed to be? Take a game like Abzu, for example, which is often renowned as a cozy game. It's not your typical cozy game. There's no farming, no crafting, and no villagers to befriend. But it's undeniably cozy for those who find peace in underwater exploration and the soothing flow of the movement. Or consider Octopath Traveler 2, a game that blends beautiful pixel graphics with several different storylines. For some, the calming visuals and the awesome turn-based combat may make it a deeply cozy experience, even though it's far from a traditional cozy experience like that of a life sim or farming game. Lastly, take a look at Slay the Spire, which blends meticulous card play and deck building with a roguelike formula. Some may enjoy the uncertainties of what you'll find on every different floor. Games like these remind us that cozy can be found in unexpected places, and that the genre shouldn't exist. It's not just about doing the same relaxing activities over and over and over again. It's about finding what resonates with you personally. So where does that leave us? As video games continue to evolve, I think it's crucial that we as both players and creators push the boundaries of what cozy can mean. Let's not limit the genre to just life sims, farming, and organization games. Let's explore new ways to create the sense of comfort and relaxation, whether it's through innovative gameplay, compelling stories, or even just the right kind of atmosphere. So with that, I say enough with this epidemic of cozy titles that are just ripping off the same mechanics as the last. If there are any game devs out there watching this, I encourage you to take chances and find new innovative ways to make us feel cozy, because that's how gaming started. Cozy is subjective. It's personal. What feels like an escape from reality to me might feel completely different to you, and that's okay. The beauty of gaming is that there's something out there for everyone, and games shouldn't be defined by adjectives like the word cozy. At the end of the day, you should play what you want to play because you enjoy it, not because of some perceived feeling that a game is supposed to evoke on you. We all seek something different from the games we play, whether it's adventure, relaxation, challenge, or a simple way to pass the time. And the great thing is, there's something out there for everyone. Gaming is about creating your own experience, finding joy in the way you engage with the games. At the end of the day, that's what matters most. Not the labels, not the opinions of others, just your own enjoyment. So choose your games for you, not for some preconceived idea of what they should be. Because in the end, gaming isn't just about the game, it's about you, your escape, and the world you create within it. My name is Doodad. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.